10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, providing first-class construction services on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. All right, sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. We call it the 10-minute drill. We do it each and every day. Beef, at the end of the drill, what do we hand out today, sir?
Yeah, stay tuned. At the end of the 10-minute drill, one lucky Guggen will get $25 to use at Scrubble's Ultimate Car Wash, and they'll be entered into the drawing for an opportunity to score a pairing into Monday's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open over at Hidden Hills.
All right, Pross, you want to talk about Zion Williamson. You got it. He had his streak snapped last night of
But now you're going to bring him
20
up.
points in a row and 50% shooting.
He's 25 points.
Yeah, it's like 20. It's something no player his age had ever done. And last night they got Brooklyn as the Nets and their all-star traveling bunch.
By the way, I don't know if you sparked it, if you planted the seed. I think I hate the Brooklyn Nets more than any team I've ever hated in my life. And I've blown with the wind with them. I do still think they're fun to watch, but they make me sick the way they run around and celebrate having just accumulated all the talent.
Yeah.
I mean, they ought to have to walk across the country if they don't win it all.
You know,
what a joke.
You know who played 18 minutes for the Brooklyn Nets last night?
Chris Chiozza.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Had 12 points, by the way.
Yeah. Kind of came on last year during the pandemic.
Yeah. But LaMarcus Aldridge, you forgot was on the Nets, had 22 points. Kyrie had 24. KD came back. The MVP candidate didn't even play.
Well, nauseatingly, ESPN devoted 10 minutes to Kevin Durant as if he's come back from a heart attack. I mean, the guy's got a strained hamstring, ESPN. Oh, he's 7 for 7. He's Kevin Durant, ESPN.
Yeah.
I don't need to revisit. I got Durant highlights. And then I got Tim Legler breaking down Durant. And then we come back another 10 minutes later, we do another Durant segment. Give me a break, man.
Meantime, everybody else in the association scrapping and clawing and trying to improve. And we lost again to the Celtics by 2 on another late 3, and just disaster for the Knicks as they start to now fall under 500 and drop in the standings and are headed towards the vaunted play-in series, play-in playoffs, whatever the heck that is. I don't know. We're now in the 8 hole at 25 and 27. The Celtics a game ahead of us. Your Hawks took one on the chin last night.
You got no John Collins, you got no Clint Capella, we got none of our players. Amazing that they're doing what they're doing with the guys that are missing. Hurt. The guys are hurt. I mean, Capella's had that Achilles strain all year, so he sits about every third or fourth game. And Collins got a high ankle. He's been out 4 games. He's got more to come. We haven't had DeAndre Hunter, but about 1 game in the last 30. It's impressive that they are where they are. To be honest,
they're in the 5 spot right now, but it's the Nets. And everybody. The Nets are now pulling ahead of the Sixers.
If they have all their guys, it's stupid. Yeah. The NBA needs to do so. Shouldn't be allowed. It just shouldn't. Yeah. You shouldn't allow these players to their own devices to pick and choose where they can go put together a super team. It's just contrary to what the sport should be.
Like, you don't mind.
It's happening in the middle of the year.
Yeah, you don't mind so much Blake Griffin or LaMarcus Aldridge, guys who have played their best basketball and are still good, but not of the ilk that they were. But when James Harden can dictate where he goes, that does seem a little
and just the hypocrisy, like you said. Revisit what Kevin Durant said about these super teams when LeBron put one together. Hypocrites.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I got to watch Kevin Durant, kiss his mom after the game. What are we in high school? You guys get orange wedges, you big babies. I think the collective maturity of the Nets is about the 12-year-old age. I really do. They're a bunch of 10-year-olds.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Obviously, I've already made my peace with them. I'll root against them the whole way. But I expect they'll be in the NBA Finals, and I expect they'll probably win it. But the best game of the night was Utah and Phoenix. That was a good showdown, and Phoenix bested Utah, and Phoenix now has won 7 in a row. And we think back to the bubble last year, and they had Chris Paul. It's a really good basketball team. I don't know how much damage they can do, but they are good, man. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out for Phoenix as the Lakers have fallen to the 5 spot, and they're only, a game and a half ahead of Portland in the 6. Any word on LeBron yet, boys? Is there any word that he's close?
Still no timetable for him or AD.
So we're now 42, 51 games in of a 70-some. There's like 20 games left. I would say if they don't, now, I assume that LeBron will be back before the end of the regular season, but if he misses another 10 games, the Mavericks turn around and lost a stinker. So I think I think the Lakers won't fall below 6, in my opinion. I think 6 is as far down as they're going to go because I think they can cobble together 10, play 500 ball, I think, going forward. What's their record since LeBron went out? It's
about 500.
I think it's under 500. He went out in the Hawks game 1, 2, 3, 4, 2-4, 2-5, 3-5, 3-6. They're 4-6. They're 4-6 since LeBron went out, and they play the Heat tonight in Miami. So,
there is this. Poor LeBron tries to play their game. This is like payback for putting together the super team. Every time LeBron gets on a team that's good enough, because don't kid yourself, we way poor-mouthed LeBron's support staff in Cleveland. He had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love.
Yeah.
In their prime,
Yeah.
That was a super team. So this notion that them beating Golden State was the biggest upset ever is a little flawed.
Yeah.
I mean, you have LeBron James and that kind of support. It's not like you're...
They weren't bad, but I mean, down 3-1. What they did was pretty
and they got a lot of help from Draymond and the kicking the giblets. But whatever, It is what it is. But it's almost like because LeBron was the first to do this when they behind the scenes orchestrated the Miami team. But here is LeBron now. He's got an AD and his own quote unquote super team again, and now the Nets are there waiting with a team just as good as what Golden State had those years.
Mm-hmm.
So LeBron, in trying to chase history, is constantly having to do it against these teams that are built to be super teams.
Yeah.
And the one time that they got lucky and missed that team, they, belted them in the NBA Finals last year.
I saw that. Boy, I tell you, it's kind of weird. I saw that Ohio State's having another pro day. Now, is this one time where teams have leverage over players?
Yeah, the 49ers.
Is that what we got
I think
cooking?
the 49ers realized, what the hell are we doing? We probably need to go see this kid in person.
Because if you're Justin Fields, a lot of times these kids don't even throw at their pro days because they did the combine, right? Or vice versa. So, and yet here's Mac Jones had 2 pro days or Alabama had 2. Why they haven't? I don't understand the whole 2 pro day thing. I don't understand the concept. I need some explaining.
Well, Mac Jones had 2.
Yeah, I know. Why?
I guess this because they're so. Here's the only thing I do think to your first question.
Yes, sir.
I think the teams are back channeling. I mean, we learned that Urban Meyer designed Trevor Lawrence's workout.
Yeah.
I mean, it had a lot to do with what he wanted to see him do. And I do think the reason though is because after Trevor Lawrence and maybe Zach Wilson now, it's there's 3 or 4 of them there that are like the same. It's really hard to differentiate between the two. The 49ers, by the way, were arrogant in not going to Justin Fields' first workout.
Or they should have split. Lynch should have went to 1 and Shanny should have went to 1.
Correct.
Yeah. Maybe
they knew at the time.
Maybe the assistant GM slappy guy who went to
said, "Oh, by the way, you guys should come see him.
You might want to see this guy. He's pretty good."
I think it's very. I mean, it reeks of smarter than I'm the smartest guy in the room, smarter than everyone else. If the 49ers decided on Mac Jones already, that does not seem prudent to me.
Yeah.
I'm just from what they've seen as 1 year of a starter with an overmatched team.
Well, I will say this though, Pross. I think by now most teams have decided on the guys that they have their board shaped. They know who they want to take. A pro day isn't going to sway me one way or the other. I've watched every snap of Mac Jones and every snap of Justin Fields, and that's more so how I'm going to decide.
Well, don't tell that to Zach Wilson, who apparently when he rolled left and threw it 50 yards became the new Patrick Mahomes.
All right, you've been through a lot this spring. I don't want to do this to you again, but it's screaming at me to at least ask. They've put out a list of these are the 9 players who can win the Masters. So
I'm not walking naked.
I want to know
if
you want to take the buck naked challenge and walk to Augusta.
It's so funny
and pick
you say
one
that.
of these guys.
I looked at the title of that column and said, "Oh, I could buck naked that."
Yeah.
You can't do that in golf, Dan.
No.
Like I can do it in basketball.
Yeah.
I'll do it again next year. The list will come out, and I'll tell you again. And by the way, it doesn't mean Arkansas can't go to the Elite 8.
Yeah.
It means they can't win it all. You know why? Because a real team like Baylor's waiting on him.
Jordan Spieth going to win the Masters?
I would say no. He can,
but you wouldn't buck naked that one.
No, if it's only 9, there's no buck naked in there, buddy.
Yeah,
there's not 9. No. The list is 30.
Yeah.
This is one where I would buck naked that someone not on that list could win.
You'd like to take Sandy Lyle?
No, but I would take
that one.
Terrell Hatton could certainly win the Masters.
Yeah,
Patrick Reed's probably on your list or.
Patrick Reed's not on the list.
All right, Reed, Hovland, Wolf, Morikawa can all win the Masters.
Yeah.
There's so many guys.
If I had to pick one of these guys who was not going to win.
Okay, not going to win. All right, I'm not going the first two.
Yeah. So you say Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas.
He could win.
Patrick Cantlay, Johnny Rahm.
He could win.
Bryson DeChambeau.
I would say DeChambeau, no way in the world is winning the Masters.
Colin Morikawa, Vic Hovland, Rory McIlroy.
So they are on the list.
Those are your 9.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with any of those. I don't think that DeChambeau will win the Masters, but I'm not to the point that I'm telling you he's not. I'm guaranteeing
I would
it.
say, and this is, you said he could, but if I had to pick one of these 9, Hovland.
Yeah, that would be the one too. But
That's
I'm just using this to point out that I don't think that Bryson DeChambeau has the putting game to win Augusta. And same thing with Morikawa. He can't putt good enough. You got to be able to putt there, man. And I mean putt like a all-pro.
Apparently what everybody's saying up there, the players are saying that they have to almost flush out what November was like because it's totally different.
100%.
So
much firmer. The greens won't hold as well. It'll be faster.
Nobody's going 20 under this week. Nobody's setting records.
I think the over-under will be like 10.
Yeah. So I think that's get ready for the battle is kind of what they're saying versus, just firing at the sticks and making putts in November. It's going to be much more difficult this time around. So we'll see. It starts here in a little bit. Rory McIlroy's played awful golf and seemed very disinterested. And
I think that's the guy that I think will shock everyone this week. Like, I think Rory, you come in under the radar. He's got 6 straight top 10s at Augusta.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays well there. He admitted that he kind of got caught up in the Bryson DeChambeau chasing distance and get back to a friendly course where you've had some success. And I don't think that this is going to be an MC Hammer, which he's had a couple.
Yeah. They say it's all about the first 18 for him. Always has been. Odds are 14-1. We'll see. So
that's way too high, though.
Yeah. You need Rory McIlroy to come out and throw up a 68 today and say, I'm here,
For sure.
Even if he does that, it's always that one bad round that seems to derail Rory as far as chances of winning.
Yeah.
So, we'll
I have a new we've had this where we go from hero to
zero.
Worse than zero.
Cheerio.
And many times, it's hard to wrap your brain around O.J. Simpson's a murderer, whatever it is. Well, man, I swear, a guy who I thought gave me one of the more heartwarming stories we've had in the last 6-7 years.
Sad.
But when Travis Rudolph visited that elementary school over in Tallahassee and searched out the kid with autism who had no friends, no one sitting with him, and sat with him, developed a friendship with that kid and the family, took him to Knowles games, gave him jerseys, that sweet, tender-hearted personality, it seems implausible that a guy who thinks that way and acted that way would have cold blood killed someone yesterday and shot another man. Now, I don't know the circumstances around it, but immediately, arrested for like first-degree murder.
I did read one thing that bothered me, and that is that his father was shot and killed.
By an accident. That was an accident.
And I wonder, he was working.
Yeah, it was somebody had a gun on them and it discharged and went through a wall and shot his dad.
Yeah, so I wonder if that, and I don't know when, but I'm wondering if that happened between now and then. So maybe. I don't know. It's just a sad story. But he was the leading receiver for FSU for 2 years.
Well, and that was just such a warm thing to do. It doesn't seem like, capping a guy is in that makeup.
Yeah.
It's, wow. But anyway, I hated to see that because, again, went from one of my I almost say favorite all-time stories. I really liked that story and what they did over there. And then so for it to end up like this is just terrible. Gators got a good one in the transfer portal.
Yes,
this Penn State guard, Marion Jones, is the real deal. He averaged 15 points in the rugged Big Ten. He's got a three-point shooting percentage, 40%. So Mike White continues to build the Florida program through transfers. Hick, I was saying this earlier this morning. It's time to add a third element to all our dissection and evaluating and ranking and predicting in college basketball. Mm-hmm. And every year now in May, we have to have a transfer ranking.
Yeah.
Because and it's got to be net, what programs are losing and what they're bringing in, because it has now become almost as big a part of college basketball as actual recruiting.
Well, yeah, that was yes. I mean,
and by the way, developing players no longer can you put on a coach's resume.
No.
Because in 2 years, if they don't play, they leave.
Correct.
You could usually bring guys in and have an eye on their long-term development, and they get impatient and don't allow you to take them there.
Yeah.
See Omar Payne.
Well, the one thing that Florida did lose was, Trey Mann and Noah Locke, and that's points. So they need somebody who can score, and this is a guy who can score. If you're going to score 15 points a game, like you said, in the Big Ten, well, you're pretty good, and he can hit it from the outside, and so we'll see. And he's good at the free throw line, and, he's got experience. He's been there. He's played 3 years up there. So
that's 2 left also.
Yeah, well, yeah. So Penn State wasn't great last year.
This is a freebie, right? Everyone's eligible right away this year.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have to sit for a year.
No.
By the way, it brings up this prospect, Hick. Tell me if the Gators starting 5 next year won't be Colin Castleton, Anthony DeRougie, Tyree Appleby, McKissick, and this kid.
Yeah.
That's 5 transfers. Wow. None of whom have been there longer than a year.
And by the way, you left off the 6th man who may be a starter. That would be Felder from Boston College.
Yeah. He's not near as established yet as the other 2 kids are.
Oh, he's 10 points a game. He's a big body. He's inside guy, and he can shoot from the outside. So, and again, the best news of all about him is that Appleby, McKissick, and this kid, they've all played 3 and 4 years.
Correct. They're gonna have a veteran backcourt.
Yeah, very veteran.
I think they will be better than they were last year.
I do too.
And again, there's this notion of Scotty Lewis is eating up playing time and roster space that is not near the level that you expected he would. He never developed as a player. Scotty Lewis leaves not as good as Casey Prather was in Gainesville.
Oh gosh, no.
All right, Doc Kevin Murphy's next. We'll go inside the injury report. It's a Custom Tree Surgeons Thursday. You're listening to The Drill on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
I'll take caller number 2 right now, 641-1010. Caller number 2, going to go home with $25 to Scrubble's Ultimate Car Wash. Wash includes free bug and hand prep, rain repellent, clear coat protectant, underbody rust inhibitor, and the latest ceramic coating technology. Plus, you'll be entered into the drawing for a chance to win a pairing into Monday's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open coming up at Hidden Hills. So caller 2 right now, 641-1010.